welcome to Sports Plus Live podcast, episode number 37. I'm hurt, man. I'm hurt. I don't even know who wears 37. Like, I have to look it up, but I'm hurt because we are officially on lockdown here in Colorado, where I live. Can't leave. Only go to grocery, hospital, doctors, or whatever, gas station. I think they pick up your food. That's about it. I go to pick up my favorite food. I can't pick up my favorite food because if you guys know me, breakfast burritos, I love them. I love them. My favorite breakfast burrito place has to shut down. So, R.I.P. Miguel Hito. Just kidding, man. It's not dying. It's not going anywhere. But it's just shutting down temporarily. For like a couple weeks, I think, till all this is cleared up. I think we're on lockdown until the 11th or something like that, I believe. That's, it's statewide, so I don't know. That could be extended depending on how everything gets situated here in the next couple weeks. But it's sad, man. It hurts me because that's what I get. I can't go because of work, like during the week. But then on Saturdays, they're closed on Sundays. On Saturdays, I go soup, bacon, breakfast burrito, man. Just swoop it. And it's my comfort food. And I can't replicate it. I can't do what they do. I don't know what they do. It's like a secret. And, I could try, but it's not going to be the same. And it's going to hurt my feelings. Their sauce is better. Their hot sauce is better. Hotter. But we'll get through this. Just like everything else, we're going to get through this, guys. Not the end of the world. It hurts temporarily. I thought I was going to be able to get through this 2 weeks without, just kicking it. But I can't kick it. I'm hurt. Just kidding. But anyways, welcome, guys, to the Sports Plus Live podcast, episode number 37. We're still, we're in quarantine. We're officially locked down. Stay at home, whatever it's called. What is it called here? Stay at home. No, not stay at home jobs. Stay at home. Stay at home order. That's what it's called. Officially as of, I don't know, like today, the United States officially has the most coronavirus cases in the world. It's pretty crazy to think about, especially with China. China and Japan, they all have this big population, and I don't know where we went wrong. I could probably tell you where we went wrong, but you know me, I don't talk about politics here, so we ain't go that far. But as of right now, just sit your ass at home, sit your ass in front of that TV, stay with your kids, watch whatever you watch. Now's your time to binge watch. Now's your time to like I said, be better. Read a book. Learn something. Learn Portuguese. Learn Spanish. Some of you guys should learn Spanish. It's gonna be helpful because when you guys have to defect to Mexico because of all this shit, and they have all the good drugs over there, you're gonna have to go over there. So you need to learn Spanish. You already got one start, Corona, Crown. So, but yeah, if you never watched, I'll give you a couple things to watch. If you have HBO, go and watch The Newsroom. Newsroom's a great show. You watch Newsroom, you'd be like, damn, I wish they were around now. 2011, I think, is when it was like the last show was out. Go ahead and watch Ballers is a good one with The Rock on HBO. We're sticking with HBO. Entourage, if you've never watched Entourage, the series and the movie's pretty good. Let's see what else. Catch up on, I don't know, wrestling. WrestleMania is around the corner. Why not catch up on it? They're still going to go through WrestleMania. Something we're going to talk about here soon, hopefully, if I remember. What else can you watch? I need suggestions too. You can watch Netflix. I heard Tiger King is one that everyone's watching right now. I don't know, man. Every time I get on Netflix, the only thing I watch, which I'll be watching here soon, are stand-up comedies. And I was supposed to be going to the Netflix is a Joke Festival with my friend Mo, my best friend Mo, Papa is what I call him, and it got postponed is what it got, not canceled but postponed. So I don't know when that's going to happen. It's supposed to happen at the end of April. Um, the show we were going to was Dave Chappelle and a bunch of other. I think Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, Billy Crystal. I don't remember. There's a bunch of people. So it was a festival all week of comedy shows. They're pretty much taking over L.A., California, and just had a bunch of different comedy shows. A bunch of podcasts were set up live. Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, just a bunch of different things. The show that I was going to go to was at the Holiday Bowl. No, what's it called? L.A. Bowl? Um, Hollywood Bowl. That's what it's called. Is that what I said? I don't remember what I called it. It was pretty cool. Hold on, real quick. Netflix a Joke Festival. Based on the CDC, they're postponing it. Wait. Here we go. Hold on. So this is a couple things that were going on that week. Hollywood Palladium, hosted by Martin. Amy Schumer has a thing going on May 1st. Where's my stuff at? Here we go. Hollywood Bowl. Chappelle. It also says an evening of music and comedy featuring Dave Chappelle and very special guests. So that could have been anybody really. That's what we're planning. That's what we have tickets to. We're still gonna go, I think, depending on when it actually is, and if we're both employed. So who knows? I'm still employed. I'm still working. It is a crazy time right now. I'm very, very busy. I do support amongst other things, and we our queues today, like usually they're about, I don't know, 12, 13 deep. Sometimes in the last couple of weeks they've been really busy. Still very, very steady. But recently, today, it was the highest I've ever seen. It was 62 deep. People were waiting for hours for help. Even though we have tutorials, we have help stuff people can go look at online. They still need to call in. And, but yeah, 62 deep, people waiting for that. So it's pretty crazy. I'm thinking about it still couldn't work. But yeah, that's where we are at. It's pretty crazy. Just crazy stuff. Crazy times again. So just sit your ass at home, binge watch. Anyways, what I was getting to, Netflix, I will be watching the Burt Kirkshire stand up and then the Tom Segura stand up as well. A bunch of other different stand ups I got to catch up to as well. That's what I do. In times like this, you need comedy to feed your soul. Just smile a little bit at some things. Watch funny shit. Don't watch the depressing shit. And that's why I'm not going to watch Tiger King, because I don't know how depressing it is. I don't want to be wowed. I don't care about the whole shock factor. It seems pretty crazy, but I don't know. I'll probably watch it. I'll probably get bored. If I'm not freaking video games. So if you want smoke, at me on at me on Twitter, first off. Sports Plus Life and MRAKACO. Same thing on Instagram. Also Sports Plus Life on YouTube. So youtube.com/Sports Plus Life. And on TikTok. I still haven't made a video, but I'm going to when it's on and popping. What should I do? A dance challenge? Should I do? I don't know. Whoa! I don't know what I'm gonna do. Who knows? But yeah, today I was like, well, what am I gonna talk about? It's very slow. Then as I was working, I look at my screen, or my phone came up, and it said John Jones, UFC light heavyweight champion, the GOAT of the UFC, was arrested. Now, I think this is like his like third arrest or something like that in Albuquerque. No, like his second or third in Albuquerque, but he had one in New York as well. Let me read. This is from ESPN. UFC star. God damn it! Hold on. UFC star John Jones was arrested in New Mexico for alleged aggravated DWI and negligent use of a firearm early Thursday morning, according to a representative for the Albuquerque Police Department. Goes on. Jones, who was also charged with possession of an open container and no proof of insurance, was released from custody later Thursday morning, per online Bernalillo County Metropolitan Detention Center records. Jones tested at or above twice the legal limit when he was administered a breathalyzer test after he was arrested, the criminal complaint said. Let me read on just a little bit more. According to the criminal complaint, an Albuquerque police officer responded to the sound of a single gunshot around 12:58 a.m. Thursday. So that was like last night, almost 1 o'clock in the morning. The complaint stated that the officer saw a black Jeep with a man inside the vehicle in the driver's seat, identified as John Jones, and another person outside the vehicle by the passenger side door. Did he shoot someone? Is that what I got? Or like they were just shooting outside of like just being reckless, just being drunk fucks. The officer wrote that he saw an open bottle of alcohol behind the passenger seat and said that Jones said he did not know where the gunshot sound came from. Another officer was called, and after completion of a DWI investigation, Jones was placed under arrest per the complaint. Yeah, dude, I don't know what's wrong with him. Has so much money. Apparently, he's a man of God. Has a great family, beautiful family. Has good people around him as far as his family goes. But yeah, he just does stupid shit like this. You know, you think with having that much money, you could, I don't know, pay someone to drive you around a little bit every year, you know? Like, not shoot guns outside of a car, especially after you've been drinking it. This is all just common sense. And it was brought to me, and something came up, because I posted this on Facebook, and someone said maybe it's CTE and something else. Maybe, who knows? I mean, I did watch the Dark Side of the Ring, I think is what it's called, with Chris Benoit on Vice, which I was going to get to here in a little bit. But who knows? Maybe that does have something to do with it. Like, who does that shit? This is like his third, fourth arrest. Been suspended by the UFC, stripped of his title by the UFC for last time. Last time he did a hit and run on a pregnant woman. Went and got some cash, dipped, left the scene. So I don't get it. And this is a guy like I defend too. I defend John Jones. Definitely is the best fighter that, pound for pound GOAT, best fighter ever. But outside of him, just stupid. I don't get it. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten divorced. I don't even know if he's married. Surprised he hasn't gotten divorced. The family hasn't left him. Just stupid shit. But you think about it, there's no one around him to say, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Sit down. There's no one around him to say, dude, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. There's nobody there for him. I don't know what it is. I think eventually you have to throw him in jail. You have to throw him in jail so he can learn. Because one of these days, this drinking shit is going to kill somebody. You see it every day. Drinking and driving kills somebody. I don't know what the stats are, but it's not good. And for someone who is one of the top stars of one of the biggest fighting organizations in the world, really doesn't set a good example. But you also can make the fact that he's a fighter. He's barbaric. That's what, that's kind of associated with being a fighter. So, but I still don't think none of that excuses. I don't get it. I think you think you'd learn after a couple times. But obviously he hasn't. So we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's strike 3 for him in New Mexico. Who knows? Firing a gun, negligent, firing the gun, open bottle container, no insurance. Um, yeah, UFC is aware. I think the UFC has a lot on their plate right now, but I've heard they are aware of what's going on, and I think the fact that these charges are lesser charges, that I don't know if they're going to bring the hammer down on him or not. Being misdemeanors, which is DWI, which by the way I'm just looking at right now. In New Mexico, aggravated DWI carries a maximum penalty of 90 days in jail, 1 year probation, and a 1 year probation, plus a mandatory penalty of 48 hours in jail. The maximum penalty for negligent use of a deadly weapon is 6 months in jail. The maximum penalty for no proof of insurance is 90 days in jail. So a lot of slapping on the wrist, which could be lesser sentences too if, there's pleas and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with this dude. I don't know why. I mean, you even look at someone like Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor gets himself in trouble as well. Is it the CTE? Could it be the CTE taking hit after hit, slam after slam? I don't know. I don't want to rule it out, but I also don't want to be like, it's not the CTE. It can't be. This early in their careers, they're all both young guys in the early 30s. I think McGregor's barely 30 or something like that. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Only he knows. Only God knows. And the way things are going, God's going to show up here pretty soon. And he's going to let him know. He's going to get his wish. But anyway, speaking of the UFC, so Dana White has said that he has 99.9% lockdown a location for Habib versus Ferguson. Where that is, I don't know. Maybe it's like I think it's an offshore boat. Maybe in a parking lot somewhere, like Lionheart, Russia, maybe. I don't know. I don't know where this fight's gonna be. Maybe Indian reservations where no one can touch. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm assuming it's gonna be outside of the U.S. He is trying to make something happen, trying to keep this fight. He's just like me. I feel that if this fight doesn't happen now, it's never going to happen. It just won't happen. But if it doesn't happen, it just wasn't meant to be. What would suck if this fight does happen and it is a dud? I doubt it will be, but what if it was just a dud? A la, like you just saw Yoel Romero versus Israel Adesanya. Now that would suck. That'd be bad. That would suck for everybody. UFC, it would suck because if the fight does go on, I don't know if it'll be on pay-per-view. I think it would be. I'm assuming it would be. Don't know if it should be because a lot of people don't have money. Maybe on ESPN, ESPN Plus. I mean, you got a lot of eyes on the fight. You make it happen. There's no sports going on. It's not a whole lot going on. People are going to need a distraction from what's going on. By April 18th, who knows what's going to happen. And if they lay a dud, that would not be good. Not be good for the sport. Not be good for UFC. Not be good for either fighter. Who knows? He says he has a location. I don't know if it's going to be there. Bermuda Triangle. One of those underground Japanese or China, Hong Kong Kumite gyms. Who knows where they're going to pop it off at? Would I like to see this fight happening? For sure. I'm a big fight fan. I need a good distraction. I need something more normal back in my life because normal is not what's going on right now. I'm working from home. I don't leave the house. I'm in the dungeon all day. I sit there and watch ESPN on the background and just watch Stephen A. Smith do this, shake his head, yell the whole time. Max Kellerman just blinks his eyes. And Marcus Spears kind of sits there and laughs in between the two. It's just not normal. Every day is the same. Then, because I get in at 6 a.m. and what's on? What's it called? Get Up with my Greenberg and Dominic Foxworth. Yeah, just a bunch of like, they all talked about the same thing. They all talk about the Olympics. They still talk about LeBron James, um, and what is it called? The Tom Brady. That's all they're talking about. That's it. So like right now, the NFL is slowed down, so that's all they have to talk about. So we need a little bit more normalcy back in our life, or just a change of pace. What I started to do was I started watching, taking advantage of my social, not my social media, take advantage of it all the time. Started taking advantage of my memberships, or what is it called? Doesn't even matter. My WWE subscription, that's what it was. WWE Network subscription. I started watching old WrestleManias, and it got me thinking. And I'll probably do this next week because WrestleMania is still going on. Apparently, I'm gonna bust out my top 5 WrestleMania matches ever. Those are just mine, not the best ever, but they probably might be the best ever after I announce them. So I'll do that next week. Now I'm definitely gonna do, because after last weekend watching the best UFC fights, I'm gonna do the best MMA fights, which doesn't necessarily have to be UFC. So I'm gonna do MMA in general. Pride. I'll even throw some kickboxing in there. I don't know. We'll see. That's probably what I'm gonna do next week. But yeah, I'm hopeful that the UFC can get something done. That'd be pretty cool. They also have known Dana White said he's looking to make it a badass card, is what he said. The baddest card is what he said. He's looking to add on Rosenstruck versus Ngannou, which is supposed to happen last week or the week before, something like that, but got canceled, obviously. And then there's something else they were going to do on there, and I can't remember what it was. There's 3 big ones they're going to do. Habib, Ferguson, Rosenstruck. Yeah, I don't remember what the other one was going to be, but we'll see. We're all going to see. The only time will tell, man. Just like you gotta assess the situation and put your finger on the pulse and see what's going on. Because right now everything should be shut down, because the coronavirus is spreading like wildfire right now. We got caught with our pants down, and now we're kind of a SOL. But we'll see. You will know. I will know probably at the same time. So follow me on Sports Plus Life Podcast. So follow me on Sports Plus Life, Instagram and Twitter. MRAKACO, Instagram and Twitter as well. And hopefully, we'll find out all at the same time. One thing that someone did bring up while I was watching, the background noise, this big turbulence apparently with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Apparently, there's a big old smoke. I don't know what's going on. They don't like each other, whatever. But for not liking each other, they definitely won 6 rings together. I don't know how long this beef has been going on, but they are proof that if you don't have to like each other, you don't have to get along to work with each other. I mean, if this has been going on for whatever reason, maybe this has been going on since 2011, 12 or something like that. I think they still won a ring or 2 since then, 1 or 2. Yeah, just because you don't like someone doesn't mean you can't win championships. And that's kind of what the reason why it was brought up is that Bill O'Brien let Hopkins go, or traded him for next to nothing. A 4th rounder, I think is what it was. Maybe 2nd rounder. I can't remember what it was, but it's because he didn't get along with him. But it doesn't help that Bill O'Brien said when they were having a meet, I don't know if this is true or not, but when they're having a meeting, he said, last time I had to do something like this, it was with Aaron Hernandez. So right away, you're throwing that comparison to Aaron Hernandez in this situation, which is pretty bad. Aaron Hernandez killed a couple people and then went on to play football for a little bit. So, yeah, it's bad stuff. And that's not a good way to do it. But you traded him next to nothing, and it's like, I don't know, who won there? Who won here? Not a whole lot of people other than the Arizona Cardinals and DeAndre Hopkins. Got out of a shit situation. I mean, if it wasn't for the shit division they were in, there's no way they would have been in the playoffs. So they would count their Pretty Little Stars there. They got lucky. I think it was against Baltimore, if I'm not mistaken. No, it wasn't Baltimore. I can't remember who it was, but they won. Yeah, they just don't. They just got lucky. But yeah, I don't see. I mean, when you're getting paid millions, if you're paying me millions to work with someone that I don't like, I'm gonna just figure it out. Let's say I'm doing a co-podcast with somebody I don't like, but we're making a shitload of money. I'm not. I don't. I need the money. I'm gonna be like, well, you know what? Let's stick together. We're gonna figure this out, whether we like it or not. A lot of people have done that. Opie and Anthony have done it for the longest time. They hated each other, still made a lot more money. Eventually, they split up after their contracts were after that's up and running. Then yeah, go ahead and do your thing. But I wouldn't trade a coworker, a co-host, for a bottle of wine and some cheese, just because I'm sick of it. It's not worth the money. That's just me. That's just me, puppy. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell y'all. But yeah, that got brought up, and it was just kind of a good talking point. Is like, let's think about it. I saw Tito and Chuck, or what is it called? ESPN 30 for 30. Tito and Chuck, Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell. They were friends at one point. And they kind of went their separate ways, fighting wise. How it worked out, it was Tito Ortiz was supposed to be that guy. Tito Ortiz is supposed to be the guy who is a top star. He was a top star, but he was also with Chuck Liddell. Dana White was managing both of them. Got them together at Big Bear, where a lot of boxers go to train. And the story goes that they were sparring, and Chuck Liddell hit him with a body shot. No, I don't know, threw a liver kick or a punch, and just Tito Ortiz just dropped and was like, Dana White just looked at him like, you serious? Get up. Get your ass up. Get your big-headed ass up. And that's where they kind of went like, yeah, this guy's supposed to be the best fighter. But he's getting dropped in training by this guy. This guy's a star. And that's kind of what started it all. Then he started managing Chuck Liddell, started getting him all these fights. Now, Tito Ortiz was a UFC champion. At the time, the UFC, Dana White got his friends, the Fertittas, to purchase the UFC. By the way, for $2 million. I think I've talked about this last time. $2 million. Now it's worth $7 billion. They sold it for $4 billion. Now it's worth $7 billion. So just crazy numbers. But they bought it. I started running it. Tito Ortiz and Dana White just couldn't get along. So there's different ways to get along with that, but they still had to be around. Dana White's a promoter, so he had to promote these fights. He had to talk to Tito Ortiz. Now, let's say this was a great rivalry. Two stars going at it. A lot of eyes were on it. Spike TV around this time was a national TV, got it. A lot of stars are coming out to see these type of fights. If these two didn't get along, these two didn't figure something out, these two didn't, never got these type of fights done, there wouldn't be no UFC. So it's a prime example of working with people you hate but getting shit done, So that's kind of just life in general. You're not gonna like a lot of people, but just have the decency to work together if you have to. If you don't like it, then leave. If it's not worth the money, then leave. But if it's worth the money, figure it out. If it's worth the championships, figure it out. That's what a lot of people do. So once again, that's just me, puppy. I throw my hands up on that. I don't know. That's up to you. But yeah, that's something to think about. But one other thing to think about as well is that during this time, we see all these big organizations. We see a lot of these big sports teams, I think, yeah, they have a lot of money. They have a lot of this, but the one thing, yeah, a lot of the owners, executives, a lot of the players, of course, have a lot of the money, but a lot of the other people don't. A lot of staff workers don't. I mentioned last time Manchester United's paying for a lot of the match day staff still to, still paying them. A lot of teams now, what a lot of teams are doing are cutting their wages to kind of help their club out. Because a lot of these clubs, a la Barcelona, they don't necessarily just have a soccer club. They have soccer, a women's soccer, basketball team. They have a couple more other type of teams as well, but um, so a lot of like, you know, as an organization, as a club, they have to, cut costs, just like a lot of the big companies right now are doing right now. So a lot of these teams, a lot of these players are cutting their wages. I know a couple players or a couple teams players have just cut their wages altogether. Like, take the money, we don't need it anymore. Go do whatever you want, pay these people whatever you want. So a lot of good things coming out of it, a lot of generosity coming out of this, and stuff like that. Just I just sit there and watch, and um, just it makes me believe we will get out of this. Um, like I said before, just a little bit pause on our life, and I think we'll be okay. I think we'll get out of it eventually. Um, but we just have to keep that train of thought, that positivity. Because as soon as we start, of course we can worry. Of course we're we're in troubled times. A lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of people aren't going to have the income. A lot of people are living check by check. But at some point we got to be positive. We still have a lot of us still have our health. A lot of us still have our lives. We're on this side of the earth, which is always a good thing. Um, the great thing about where we live in now, we could always make money. We could always make money. We could always get that money back. We just can't get our lives back. So we just got to err on the side of caution now. But it's good to see these type of things right now. Um, Messi's donated $1 million to coronavirus, or I think I don't remember exactly. Messi, Manchester City has done it as well. John Elway has done it from right here in Colorado. The Broncos have done it. Um, a lot of other teams are donating. Ronaldo has turned his hospitals um, or not hospitals, his hotels into hospitals, preparing for something like this in Portugal. It's a great thing to see. This guy has made a lot of money. He knows what he can do. He knows where he can cut costs. He knows, what he needs to do. I mean, that's just great. Ronaldo's an all-around great guy, the greatest athlete in the world, and a great husband, great father. Um, just overall good dude, and stuff like that is good to see, especially coming from community of soccer. A lot of people can learn from that. A lot of people don't, look at soccer in the United States and they're like, oh well, it's just a sissy sport, but there's more to it than just playing soccer, diving. I get it, the diving's bad. I get it. Um, there's a lot more physical. I played both football and soccer, and they're both equally. When I played them, equally grueling, just in different ways. Um, yeah, it just we can learn a lot from each other. This is a big learning opportunity for everybody in general. Just take a look around and see what's going on in your area. Take a look around and see the people who are still working, whose companies, just like someone like what's his name? The owner from this is gonna bother me. Owner gave up his salary. I have to look it up. Guys, this is gonna bother the shit out of me. It's gonna come to your watch right as I Texas Roadhouse. Texas Roadhouse CEO gave up his salary to pay his frontline employees. There's stuff like that. There's a lot of big companies that are not willing to do that. There just isn't. They'd rather cut costs than to keep it up and running, set an example. Yeah, we could learn a lot from each other. We could learn a lot from the world right now. So hopefully we can. Hopefully we can become better from all this. Just hope we can. Yes, we will, and we will. I know we will. Kind of just rambling on, but I just want to get that across. That a lot of people are just so scared, and rightfully so. I get it. Like I said, we got caught with our pants down, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. China has kind of recovered. South Korea is going to recover. Italy's on his way up, I believe. Not 100% sure. Um, but we're going to recover. The good thing about what's going on with this disease, the recovery rate's way better than the fatality rate. But we just need to do our part and just stay at home. Stay at home if you can. If you're going to the grocery store, I don't know, like ClickList. Do a Walmart. Like you just do it online on the app, shop on your app, and then go pick it up at a later time. And just wash your hands. Jesus, just wash your hands. Delivery, just deliver as much. Just don't leave the house. Stay indoors. Protect our older people. Protect our kids. Do better for our kids. I've said this so many times. Let's do better for our kids. So hopefully we can learn from this and just do better from our kids. But anyways, yeah, moving on. Moving on from all that, but we can learn from each other ultimately. The one last thing I did want to talk about is that I did watch the Chris Benoit Dark Side of the Ring. I'm butchering that, I know. Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring on Vice, which is out on YouTube, so you can check it out. I will try to I'll try to remember to put it in the description in the YouTube video. So youtube.com/sportspluslife. Check it out. It's pretty crazy. So I remember watching Chris Benoit a lot. I remember thinking, dude, this guy's vicious. And he really was. And I never realized because I was watching old WrestleMania. I was watching I think it was Money in the Bank WrestleMania. I want to say 21. I think that's the one it was. Who was it? Kane, Shelton Benjamin, Chris Benoit, CM Punk, Chavo Guerrero, I think Rey Mysterio. I can't remember who it was. But dude, just stuff like that. I mean, I saw him and he's cutting himself. They put what's called, you get colors, so he cut himself. He's going through the ring ropes, getting dropped outside of the ring, getting swantoned on, just stuff like that. And it's pretty tragic. You guys got to watch it out. For those of you who don't know, Chris Benoit is a wrestler. You check it out. Like, it's free on Vice if I don't plug it, if I don't put it on down in the description. He was a wrestler. Started wrestling when he was 17, so wrestled his whole life. Apparently, he was on steroids ever since he was in high school because he always had to be the big dude. Did a flying head drop off the top rope. So did a lot of big bumps like that. Bumps is called when you fall on the ground. That's what's called a bump. And just a bunch of different, just big bumps like that. He probably, when it's all said and done, he suffered from CTE pretty bad. I can't remember what it's called. I saw him on in there. I can't remember what CTE stands for, but it's something big. It's a big word. I can barely speak English, let alone say these big words. It's just a sad story. So go ahead and check it out. I don't want to get into it. You should go watch it because it affects a lot of people. You know, it affects a lot of people. It's just tragic. Murder suicide. WWE came out, celebrated it. Then because the facts weren't out, just go ahead and check it out. I mean, it's just something you could put on your list to watch. Since a lot of us aren't doing a whole lot of things right now. I definitely would go check it out. Pretty crazy stuff. There's a lot of other episodes as well. They do the Montreal Screwjob. They do Bruta Brosy, which is a crazy story. And what was it? Oh, I forgot. I don't remember a lot. I think it's the Monday Night War. I believe they do that too. I can't remember. Maybe some with Ric Flair too. So I can't remember. I remember just Cornette being on there. If you guys ever know Jimmy Cornette is, Jim Cornette is, this guy's a nut. Go check it out. Go watch Vice. I'll try to remember to put it into the description. It's about all I have, really, guys. I mean, it's just not a whole lot, obviously, to talk about. Thank God for John Jones to give me a little bit more talking time. Hope he gets his shit together, man. He has 3 girls, and it's got to do better for our kids, man. That's one prime example The guy's in his 30s. He's no more. He's a kid. He's not 23, 24. He's in 30s. He's in his 30s, so shit like this shouldn't be happening, you know. But whatever. And plus, we're locked down. What are you doing? Go sit down somewhere. What are you doing out and about? I don't know if New Mexico. I don't think New Mexico is one of those states. Or yeah, I don't think Albuquerque is one of them. So go sit your ass down, man. You can fucking spread the coronavirus. And by the way, he get caught with the open bottle container was Rescal, which is the I don't know what it's called, Rescal or what it's called, but tequila. But that's Gamebird. What's his name? Jorge Masvidal. His tequila. Plot twist. Maybe he got sent a bottle, and he was like, you know, I'm gonna try it, and I'm gonna drink, and I'm gonna take my pistol with me. He's a gun advocate. He's a gun enthusiast. Sorry. So he does have guns and stuff like that, but just got to err on the side of caution, man. Think. Damn it. Common sense. So let's all use our common sense. Let's all sit our asses at home. Let's all go ahead and watch TV. All we have to do is sit in front of the TV and we save lives. It's pretty hard, right? Not hard at all. Do some push-ups, prison workouts. Do some sit-ups, stretch. You can still go out for walks. Get some fresh air. So holler at me. I want to see you guys thrive. We all want to be available for Sports Plus Live podcast episode 100, which will be in like a year or so. I want you guys there. Hopefully we're big enough by then. Hopefully I'll be able to give out prizes. So stay alive. I got you. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. You guys, every listen, every watch, every like, every subscribe helps. So go ahead and share this. Let everyone know about it. We're in quarantine. We got time. That can't be an issue now. Plus, I'm only like half hour, anywhere from half hour to about an hour long. So holler at your boy. All right. Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys. Episode Sports Plus Life, episode number 38.